Cross-country storm to bring high winds, blizzard conditions over central U.S. next week. A storm from the Pacific Ocean will gain strength as it crosses the United States to threaten the heartland with high winds, severe thunderstorms, and blizzard conditions during the middle of next week. While a series of storms will continue to roll in from the Pacific Ocean and onshore along the west coast into next week, one particularly potent storm is scheduled to arrive in Northern California and Southern Oregon on Monday. As this storm crosses the country, it will pack a punch in many areas with strong winds, but also the potential for heavy snow in some locations, severe thunderstorms, and perhaps even aggravated flooding. The high winds with the storm will threaten to break tree limbs, trigger power outages, cause minor property damage and flip over high-profile vehicles. Gusts could tops, at the very least. The storm will significantly impact ground and air travel over a 2,800-mile-long swath from the Pacific coast to the Atlantic coast. Western U.S. impacts. Enough rain may fall on parts of northern California and southern Oregon to northern Utah and southern Idaho to trigger flash flooding from later Monday to Tuesday. Snow is likely. High winds from a fierce storm on Monday, February 25, 2019, snapped a tree that broke the top of a wall at an apartment complex in Sparks, Nevada. AP photos. The storm will begin to kick up winds from southern California to southern Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado on Tuesday into Wednesday. The high winds may be especially troublesome over the passes and wide-open flat locations. Winds may be as the storm reaches the central Rockies. The likelihood of heavy snow will increase. There. Worst of storm to target central U.S. The storm is forecast to get even stronger as it pushes east of the Rockies and onto the plains. While it may not be quite as intense as another memorable high wind event is likely to evolve. A large swath of strong winds with gusts frequenting between 40 and 60 mph is likely to shift from the eastern slopes of the Rockies beginning around Tuesday to the Great Lakes region Wednesday night. Winds may be strong enough for a long enough period to push Great Lakes waters and lead to lakeshore flooding. Initially, the storm may struggle with grabbing moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. However, as the speed of the arrival of Gulf moisture may be a key player in the extent and nature of severe thunderstorms, such as determining whether straight-line wind gusts versus tornadoes are more likely. Exactly where the boundary between rain and snow sets up will be determined by the exact track of the storm. The storm is likely, however, a shift in the storm track farther south may bring snow to Omaha, Nebraska, Des Moines, Iowa, and Chicago. There is the potential for enough rain to fall with the storm over a narrow swath to aggravate flooding over parts of the Central Plains from portions of Nebraska, Iowa, and Illinois. Storm may be past its peak in the eastern U.S. While the worst of the storm is likely to affect the central states, impacts in the northeast will still range from rain and thunderstorms to gusty winds, some snow, and even big temperature swings from one day to the next at the end of next week. In the southeast, impacts may be reduced to a single line of showers and gusty thunderstorms. Keep in mind, with the storm likely to cause severe travel problems in the heartland, there is the potential of some flight delays and cancellations due to aircraft and crews being displaced. More significant storms likely as April progresses. The big storm forecast for next week may not be the last of its kind in terms of intensity this April. The overall weather pattern is looking to be quite dynamic as storms line up over the Pacific Ocean with eyes for the US and southern Canada much of the month. With warm-ups, the pattern may also yield outbreaks of severe weather over the southern states and part of the Midwest. Flooding will also to receive the latest forecast for your area. Search for location/city.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park, pot.